Well, I'm back in Glasgow just now. I've just put the finishing touches to my album, Mr. Understanding. I'm up here working in the Foundry with my good friends Graeme Duffin, Sandy Jones, and you know, it's always been an idea of mine to write my own songs and hopefully release an album and go out and play live. It was always in the back burner, I think. You know, I always had the idea to do an album. I always had the idea to write some songs for myself, you know, and yeah, this just seemed an appropriate time for me, you know. I had to wait until the inspiration came and, you know, the songs were right as well, you know, and what I was trying to sing about. Because let's face it, I'm not an X-factored pop singer, you know. I'm Graeme Clark and I'm a singer-songwriter, you know, and I just had to exercise that. As a band, you kind of write your songs almost by proxy, and it's great. I love that, you know, in a band where we all contribute, everyone throws their ideas in, and you make some great records there, you know. The thing about doing it yourself, you're only appeasing yourself, you know, you're only kind of satisfying your own ego, if you like, or your own head, you know, so there is an element of, you know, there's a bit less pressure, I think, because, you know, you're not trying to satisfy 4 or 5 people, you're trying to satisfy yourself. For me, it's not a correct science, writing songs. It's all down to how you feel on the day, how does that sound on the day, and something can sound completely different after you've went and eaten your lunch and come back and checked it out again. So it's the process is more an endurance test, you know, and I always think, I liked what Leonard Cohen said when he said, you know, songs are never finished, they're only ever abandoned. And really that's, you know, I can relate to that, because there comes a point in time when you just have to let things go. There is an element where I do draw on my own experiences, because that's all I've got, and I do think that, you know, you write more honestly when you're writing about your own experiences, and, you know, certainly, and I'd have to draw the comparison to the band again, you know, when everyone's throwing in a lyric or everyone's throwing in bits and pieces, you know, it then doesn't become your own experience, and that's the beauty of doing, as you called it, my debut album. Although you know, I don't feel like a debut artist, but, you know, that's really where I am, you know, and sometimes I think, oh, I wish I'd done it earlier, but maybe, you know, maybe I wasn't ready to do it earlier. Maybe, you know, I think everything's kind of happens at its own pace for a reason, and I'm no different, you know. This happened at its own pace, and, you know, I think I'm probably better equipped with the experiences that I've had in my life, you know. And, you know, I'm no different to a lot of other guys that are my age, you know, and hopefully, you know, they're experiencing the same things that I experience, and, you know, I'm just lucky enough that I'm able to write about these, you know, and hopefully people can relate to that, you know. That's what you're trying to do. I didn't really realise how much I did miss it until it kind of disappears from your life. And then, of course, when I started writing songs, I've went out and played the odd gig when people have asked me to, and, you know, you do forget how much you enjoy it, you know, and I like the edge. You know, I love writing songs, and I like being in the studio where you can strip it all down and you can work at your own pace, but there is a element of risk, I think, when you go and play live in front of a bunch of people, and, you know, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. You've got a rough kind of outline, you've got a framework of what you want to do and what you want to sing, but really anything can happen up there, and sometimes it's only 30 seconds, but it just feels brilliant. You can't put your finger on why it was good or even why it was bad, you know, but I mean, for me, you know, there's something real about that. I think that's exactly what you're doing, you know, you're standing up there almost naked, you know, and it's not a pretty sight when you're 46 years old, you know, but, you know, yes, there is complete vulnerability, and, you know, I think people want that, you know, I think people like that, I think people can appreciate that you're vulnerable up there, and really, you know, I'm not playing on that, but I'm just, you know, that's just the way it is. And that for me is the beauty of it. I can't ignore my past, I can't ignore where I've been and what I've done musically. So, you know, I go out there and I play some of the old songs, but, you know, and I think people will enjoy that. So once I've got their attention, then I can, you know, play some of my more intimate songs, you know, and stuff that's more intimate to me. I do. I think that's completely unavoidable, purely down to the fact that I contributed a lot to Wet's writing, and here I am now, an extension of that, and writing my own stuff, you know. I do think that, you know, there's a big difference with me singing and Marty singing, so, you know, but there is a similarity and there is a thread that runs through it all, so yes, you know, I'm happy with that though, and it's unavoidable. Maybe there might be a few, but you know, I think that you know, in terms of, you know, what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to put across, and certainly, you know, I'm a completely different singer from Marty. So, you know, I think by the time they've thought of that, you know, I think my voice is you know, it's got its own stamp, and it's there on the song anyway. So, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm a better singer or I'm a worse singer than Marty. I'm just a different singer than Marty, you know, and I have a different interpretation of songs. I was very conscious of writing for my own voice because, you know, Marty's got one of these really beautiful tonal voices where, you know, he doesn't have to be saying very much, but it sounds very beautiful. And, you know, for me, it's not quite like that. You know, I have to, you know, I think, you know, in terms of what I'm saying and the timbre of my voice, I had to look at the keys, you know. Marty's got an amazing voice in technical terms of having a huge range, where he's got a range really high and a range really low. And so it doesn't really matter what keys you write in, whereas when I'm writing for myself, I'm a bit more conscious of where I'll sound good and where I won't sound good, you know. And that's the difference, you know. We wrote songs with Marty, it didn't really matter what the key was, whereas, you know, I'm thinking about keys now and what suits my voice. You know, I didn't sit down and say, do you know what, I'm going to be this type of music in my album. I find it difficult to write songs. I find it difficult to go through that creative process. And to be honest, I was kind of happy to do a mini album of 6 songs. And it just so happened that I co-wrote a couple of songs, and, you know, they got added in later on and some get taken away. But I ended up with a full album, but I was only consciously trying to do a mini album to start with, you know, and things just kind of, you know, got embellished and elongated, and suddenly I had an album worth of material. I kind of liked the title of this because it was my friend that came up with it, and it's a play in the word of misunderstanding. So, you know, he said, what about Mr. Understanding? And I just thought, you know, it's great because, as you've touched on, a lot of these songs are personal. They're about relationships and about relationships in my life and things about my life. And it's just a bit ironic that, you know, I'm saying, hey, look, man, look at me, I'm Mr. Understanding. That's all I'm really trying to say. I would be, you know, quite arrogant and thinking that Wet Wet fans aren't going to be curious, and that's really the people that are going to be interested in this in the first place. I'm not looking for a totally new audience, because, you know, I think our fans are the best in the world. You know, they allow me to do what I want, and they support me, and you know, they're extremely loyal, and I thank them for that, you know, for giving me this artistic freedom to do what I want. And, you know, there's no better feeling in the world than creating something and then going out there and playing it and people enjoying it, you know. And I think I've got to start there, you know. I've got to start with Wet Wet and the people that like Wet Wet, and then maybe from there we can think about where it's going. Yeah, absolutely. We used to have a saying in the band, you know, every song a single, and try to look at it that way, and I think I've taken a bit of that philosophy, and one that springs to mind is a song called Kiss of Life, and it was one of the first songs that, you know, I came up with for Mr. Understanding, and I can use it as a metaphor for falling back in love with music and making music, and the process of you know, writing and recording songs. And, you know, really it kind of set the bar really for, you know, how the album was going to sound and how good it had to be, you know, how good I had to make the other songs to come up to that level. So, you know, I'm hoping to release that just round about December time.
From the top?
Yeah, here we go.
Can't feel my finger, I can't feel my toes, I can't feel my feelings, and my blood's cold. In desperation, take anything you got, I need resuscitation, 'cause my heart's stopped. So give me the kiss of life, quick before something in me dies. Oh, can't you see the fear in these eyes, knowing that you're mine? Oh, give me the kiss of life. I can't turn the corner, they can't bring me round. I need a different doctor, 'cause I'm going down. Maybe you can hold me where you can shine the light, just till I remember what it feels like. So give me the kiss of life, quick before something in me dies. Can't you see the fear in these eyes, knowing that you're mine? Give me the kiss of life. Quick before something in me dies. Oh, can't you see the fear in these eyes? So give me the kiss of life, quick before something in me dies. Oh, can't you see the fear eyes, knowing that you're mine? Oh, give me the kiss of life.